001101101010101000011110011. That's my song for Warlock today, because
Nice.
we're painting Warlock. He's a techno-organic creature. It's awesome. It's going to be awesome. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, and welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. We're going to paint up Warlock from Marvel Crisis Protocol. In case you didn't understand from the song, like the words are all right there. It was like right there in the lyrics. I think this miniature is interesting. It's going to pose some fun little challenges, but also some opportunities for people to do some different things. I think we're going to paint our self-friend Warlock in a traditional manner. We're going to use some inks to get that yellow lining and some cool bronze and magnesium to get the metals. So let's get started.
Kicking it
Let's do it.
to the mini cam.
Kick it to the mini camp. What if they built a fast one on us and he's painting Adam Warlock? Oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? I love Adam Warlock. So I have dark bronze and magnesium from Pro Acryl out. And I'm looking at the magnesium. I think I'm going to start with that. And you could dry brush this 100%. Super easy. I'm going to paint mine on. I'm aiming for not the inset lines, but if I get some in the inset line, it's not the end of the world. There's always time to fix the paint job. I think this magnesium will give us a nice undercoat that we're going to want for our little friend Warlock here. And the dark bronze might be too much. I think, like looking at it on the palette, after I got it out on the palette, I'm thinking the normal bronze might be the way to go.
Welcome, Raiders. Thanks for coming.
Raiders, welcome to the stream. It's Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. We're painting up Warlock from Marvel Crisis Protocol. Here's a cool miniature. Don't you agree? Got a little country there for a second. Yeah, Warlock, I think, could be really intimidating to paint. Like I said, I think you could totally dry brush this. Not a problem, easy peasy. You know, we're not going to be super careful here. We're just going to get some paint on him and have a good time. Because I really think some real simple dry brushing can get this fella on the table super, super quick. Pro Acryl Noosh. We have a bottle, or we have several bottles of that. I've done a few tests with it. I have not found a project that I'm ready to use it on yet, but as soon as I have a project that I feel comfortable and after like learning the techniques that Noosh wants me to do, yeah, I could totally see using it on the stream. I don't have a project that I'm in mind to use it on. If there's one that you think would be good, like I would be totally super interested in hearing which miniature that would be. And then maybe we can put some Noosh on here, because I think it's an interesting product. I think it's an interesting little tool in the toolbox from Monument, so I'd be curious what your thoughts are there, chats. The chitter chats. Yeah, you could do totally like inks. We're going to do inks in his little inset lines. All the little yellow lines are inset. You could totally do inks in there to build the yellows and then just dry brush. It'd be a super fast, effective paint job. I'm going to go a little different. We're going to paint our base color on, and then we're going to ink it. Noosh is my what I've used on terrain. Oh yeah, I could totally see it being Noosh on terrain. Sure. Noosh the terrain. Like totally makes sense. Maybe we'll give it a try. Like I said, I haven't really taken a dive into the ins and outs. I've only gave it a try a couple times. Our sculpting coordinator, Ron Cruzy, does a lot of weathering on vehicles and terrain, and does a lot of oil washes. So I should probably get him a bottle of Noosh to try out, because he's going to know real immediately, like, sort of a good plan for it. Noosh doesn't really make a wash. It's more like it's like acrylic medium that makes your paints behave more like oil paints. So you kind of goop it on and then you wipe it away. And so it leaves the recesses full of nooshed paint and peels away from the top, but it's streaky. It's real streaky. If you're interested, check out our friends over at Procurl. They did like a little tutorial about it. Yeah, I want to try it. I just don't typically do. It's not my typical process. So, maybe I just need to learn new process, and we all need to learn new processes. Every day I do something where I'm like, I need to learn a better way to do that, right? And that's, painting or, art, drawing, communication, right? There's always something that you're like, I could do that better. I could learn to do that better. How can I be better? So maybe this is one of those ones where I'm just like, I need to learn to noosh better. This magnesium is sick. Wait, is this the magnesium? Yeah. Nice little coat. Magnesium. Yeah, it increases the noosh definitely increases the work time. Makes that paint real workable. Like I said, you can really apparently get some really good streaky, grimy effects going on. Battle War. See, and that's my biggest fear, is like I'm afraid to try noosh on like a standard miniature, like a standard scale size miniature. I feel like I need it on something bigger first, like you know, like a Hydra tank or a building instead of, you know, Kamala Khan. Like, she seems a little small for Noosh. Fill in all these little, get that little hair tendrils covered in this magnesium. All those little ridges and bumps want to grab it, so. All right, it's a pretty good color. Man, I really like this magnesium. It's so cool looking. That's showing up on camera, right? Like how cool that looks?
Unless you're seeing something different that is also cool, I think.
No, it's cool. It's the same levels of cool, hopefully.
I mean, I can only judge by what I'm seeing on camera.
I like this color a lot. And this is honestly the first time I've used it. I've seen it used, but this is the first time I've actually used it on a project. And I was like, this is a good project for this. Because I really want to get that, like, if you look at, like, the artwork for Warlock, he's black and yellow. And then some people draw it more realistic, so they add like some coppers or bronzes to it, and then like statues and the action figures definitely have a more metallic. So I want to bring that metallicness to him. It's a little dark on your screen. That's okay. We're gonna keep brightening him up. I'm looking at the dark bronze. I'm not liking it, so I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna push that aside. No dark bronze. Goodbye, dark bronze. You're out of here. Let's try bronze. Just mid bronze. It's not called mid bronze. It's just bronze. So let's see what that looks like. Will this give us the color we want? That's the color we want. I know, right?
Love a bronze.
It's a sultry color.
Just feels so rich.
So smooth. I think this is way more the color I wanted. I'll give it that goldeny, techno-organic-y vibe. The vibe to which I subscribe. We're just going to dance our brush over the upper surfaces. Like I said, if it gets into the low resources, that's fine. Could yellow be the color to lighten the bronze or silver? Yeah, absolutely. You could throw yellow. Well, the first color we did was magnesium, which is a beautiful, rich, greenish color. It's actually in the Procryl Adepticon set. And I really like it. Like I said, the first time, I would not add yellow to that. I would definitely kick up to bronze. And then when we go to light and bronze, we're probably going to add yellow ink or silver is exactly where I'm going to go with lightening up the bronze. But we got to shade the bronze. It looks even more incredible of a sculpt than the images. Hats off. Oh, thanks. Pleasantly surprised by the extra hammer in the Asgard box. Yeah, that was like one of those ones, like, you know, half the people in the meeting was just like, swooshy hammer, and the other half was like, well, I'd prefer if the hammer wasn't swooshy. And then we were like, oh, why not both? Yeah, like, that's literally how that came about. It was just like, it's like, give people a choice. Let the people choose. Maybe you like swooshy hammer. Maybe you don't like swooshy hammer. I went with non-swooshy hammer. Mainly because I like I like my hammer. I don't know. I do my hammers a very particular way, and I didn't want the superfluous accoutrement distracting from this nice, radiant, hard meteorite metal. Like I paint my hammers with like a simpleness, and I didn't want to distract from it. So, but that's why we put them both in there, because I knew somebody would be like, swooshy hammers. This does not have to be perfect. Remember, kids, we're not here for perfect. We don't have time for perfect. Speaking of perfect, we started working on a Sandman versus Spider-Man diorama. Does anybody remember working on that on stream? Or have you all forgot it? I think they all forgot it, Ann. I worked on it last week. And I'm gonna have to bring it on stream. I think we have one scheduled. The Spider-Man Sandman.
Yes, we do. We do have that.
I worked on it this past week and done some stuff, and I think it's going to be really soon. I'll be ready to have it primed and ready to paint, and we'll start the painting on stream. That's my goal, is for that stream.
I'm super excited for that one, because I very selfishly, for those in chat, enjoy coming to stream to run it, because I get to watch and learn right alongside everybody else. And it was cool to see the additional, like, custom sculpting and stuff you were adding to that.
Well, I added more.
I know, and I'm a little sad I wasn't hovering there to watch it come together, but I'm excited to be wowed.
And I think let's not get carried away with that. Like, I'm not promising wowing, but I'm very excited for what I was able to get accomplished. And I think it adds to the sculpt things that we can't do in hard plastic. And it adds a lot of action and tension. And so I'm super excited to get that on stream soon, and show people what we've been up to. Without these streams, I would not have entered the Worthy twice. Wow. You're all going to make me cry today. I promised myself I wouldn't cry today. I mean, that's all we want to do is, we're excited. We were actually talking, we have a little meeting we do on Tuesdays, and we go over the new sculpts as they're coming in the studio, right? and we had a little conversation about how excited we all are to do this because we're excited to make cool things. And I'm excited to make cool things because I love sharing those things with people. And that's why we do the paint streams, that's why we do shows, that's why we do the stream, that's why we do the Worthy, that's why we do all the organized play, and you know, the devs get rules out way early for people, and it's because we're just as excited as everybody else. I would say I would do this for free, but I gotta pay my bills. Oh, he's looking awesome. I love this little robot so much. I love robots. Something like that. It's pretty good. So his face needs a little kick. His teeth first. Ryan Wren. Just finished up painting Panther and Namor. Use Vallejo Atlantic Blue water effect. Oh, water effects. Those are fun. I gotta do water effects on my Wakanda stuff. My Wakanda stuff. You know, I'm gonna be real honest with stream. You're gonna be so disappointed in me. You know, sometimes we're painting and we're excited to paint. You know, we're all excited to be painting, and that's what we do, right? As our hobby. And sometimes a project you're super excited about just kind of gets not pushed aside, but like you just get other things in the way. You don't quite get to it. I mean, I got a lot of projects on my plate, and I'm not making excuses. You don't have to make excuses either, but sometimes that like project just gets pushed aside. Don't ever feel bad about it. Don't ever feel bad about it. You'll get to it. We'll all get to it. I promise I'm going to get to my Wakanda terrain. I need to be held to task for that one. I just keep finding other things to do. Or things I need to do or things I have to do. I mixed Huldra Blue and Dark Umber. So
In your defense, we do keep asking you to do things.
I do have a pile of things. Look, I wasn't going to blame y'all.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I was giving you an out.
No. We can be accountable for having asked for cool things to be done.
I got some fun hobby blogs in the works. So this is Huldra Blue and Dark Umber. And I'm going to use this to shade. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm staying away from pure black. I want to focus on the bronzies. I want to focus on that metallic look. And the blue is there to counter with the bronze, right? Bronze is a yellow metal. Yellow and blue is nice contrast. And then the brown is there to soften it and tie it together. And then these are non-metallic paints because I want to remove the metallic sheen from the shadows, right? We've talked about it numerous times on the stream where when metal goes into shadow, it loses its luster. And we want to remove some of that sheen. So by using traditional opaque paints, you're going to kill some of that shine and make it feel more dramatic. Look, I went Spider Ham too, okay? You're not alone. We're right here with you. We're all in this together. We're all in this together, chat. Shade those fingers just a touch, right around those knuckles. It's looking so good. It's one of those ones where I'm like, I kind of had something in my head and I wasn't quite sure, and now that we're doing it, I'm like, yeah. This is exactly what I needed out of this. We're not going to go black. We're using our chromatic colors. Almost a wash, but not quite, right? And that way we can blend it out. There's that little touch of green in there. It's real pretty. Get that belly good. Somebody's a comedian on the other side of the wall. Matt, do you have to hear that all the time in here? Those people talking? I'm so sorry.
It is so strange because sometimes we hear them and sometimes it's like the grave and there's no one there.
Yeah.
But every once in a while it's like, my goodness.
There's a party going on.
Yeah. They're probably just excited about Warlock.
They're like, oh my gosh, Warlock. I mean, I know I am. When I saw Warlock on the schedule, I was definitely going to be like, if it was on Shik's Day, I was going to reach out and be like, hey, can I have Warlock? Please?
We've oft talked about the struggles and challenges of working out as far as we do, but one of the nicer things I think for streams with it now is that we can have those conversations and people can kind of pick and choose.
Yep. Is there a big difference between the two Doctor Strange? One is flying through a portal, one's hovering in a portal. That's not the answer you were looking for. There are differences. There are definitely differences in how the two Doctor Strange play. So I added black to this shade mix. It's still not pure black, right? That's the rule we have for ourselves today, is no pure black. I'm just using it to deepen the heavier shadows. As a newer player, which one is more newbie friendly? Ooh. Probably classic. Probably classic. I wish Pagani was here. Pagani would be like, this one. Or Ben. Ben could answer that.
Well, I think it would also depend on the interactions that it generates with other things on the table, right?
Yeah, Strange Sorcerer Supreme just does stuff different than Base Supreme, but I'm by no means authoritative on matters such as game rules. Nor would I ever pretend to be. I think everything is new player friendly, but that's my take. Because I'm very much a get in there and get stuck in, and just if you mess it up, you mess it up.
Yeah.
Kind of player, and it doesn't matter. And the rules don't matter, and the points are made up.
At a certain point, you kind of just got to try it and see what jives with your play style.
Yeah.
And, have those moments where you go, oh man, I missed that and I could have done that. I'll try it next time and see.
Yeah, you're never going to get it all right in the first go.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. People should be okay with that.
I think that's much like the hobby process. That's a pretty fun part of playing these games, is just seeing yourself grow and your strategy and your tactics and your list choices improve and all of it.
It's all a process.
Feeling yourself getting better at a thing is always fun for me, though.
We lost that as a species. No one wants to get better. They want to be awesome good. Look, I know I'm, like we were talking earlier, I mess up all the time. Lots of different things. But if I know I mess up, I can have the conversation and be like, I messed up and why? Be like, how can I do that better next time? It's super important. Super important. Bazap, bazap, bazap. I will continue to be okay-ish at painting. Which comic do I quote while playing? Clear, if I don't have a good quote, I'm going to lose. See, now Johnny is playing the game. Are you the Johnny Guitar from the Bad Company song? Are you a shooting star? A little more glaze in that black mix. Because I want to just darken just a little bit. All right, let's go with copper. I'm not sure this is the right color, but it might be. It could be. And let's get out, we need a palette. So I'm going to try to use white artist ink today, which I don't use very often on streams, but I talk about it a lot because I steal it from Tony. Guess where this white artist ink came from? Tony's desk.
What are you putting the ink in?
Just a dry palette.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, gotcha.
Just a well palette. Copper is going to be a little reddish, but I think we're going to try to tone it down a little bit. There is a light bronze, I believe. Light bronze. Let's go with light bronze. You know what? I'm not sure which one I'm going to like. I'm going to put both on the palette. We're going to decide what we like. So we got dark bronze and light bronze. My thought was the copper would add that reddish, yes, because we put blue in the shadows. And I think a mix of bronze and copper is what I want. I think I do want that little bit of reddish. So now I'm going to highlight with that. So a little bit more of that reddish.
Oh, that's a good question from Half Phase Ninja about putting metallic paints on the wet palette. And do you have thoughts about doing that, and like whether that separates it or?
If you leave any paint on a wet palette, it's likely to separate. Like that's just what wet palettes do. Especially if you try to like, and remember wet palettes. I think there's a misconception that wet palettes are this eternal wellspring of life for paints, and that's just not true. As you wish the paint around on this paper, the paper will break down, it will wear through. For what I'm doing, I definitely do not care about this paint separating because it's not going to separate in any sort of time that we're worried about. This paper is going to get thrown away as soon as we're done with the stream, because I have to do a paint stream tomorrow that's going to be completely different. So that's just gone, and I'll finish Warlock at home if I don't get him done. All paint will separate on wet palette if it's too wet. My wet palette is not very wet at all. It's just there to maintain for an hour. Even when I'm painting at home, I'm not trying to save my paint forevers and evers. Usually maybe a day. But also I use so many colors when I paint. I typically run out of space very quickly in the first place. So anyways, long story short, I guess. It will separate, but not in the time that I'm worried about. So if you're trying to save your paint for a long time, yes, it will separate. And you should be mindful of that. But also if it separates, you can break it back together. A little swizzle with the brush. Okay, I want to start picking out highlights and redefining everything. And I like that little bit of warmth in there because that's just adding contrast against the blues in the shadows. Don't let that get away from you though. I think that just adds a nice little touch of depth to the situation and the conversation on the miniature. I'm just picking and choosing. I'm not choosing correctly, right? I'm sure somebody out there with much more time, experience, and patience for doing lighting would be like, technically this is where the highlight should go. That's okay. We're doing tabletop, so I'm just going with my gut. I'm just going with what feels good. I'm a rule breaker. I mean, I also use metallic paints and non-metallic paints in the same water cup. I also use metallic paints with my good brushes. You know, people say that's bad. I've never had a bad experience with either one of those. It's just never been an issue. Even when you're painting at like a studio level and that miniature is photographed by, you know, a professional photographer who's trying to capture every mistake you made on purpose to embarrass you. He can't hear me, he's listening to his headphones, so you don't really get enough metallics, you know, unless you're just like taking a giant dry brush of metallic paint and shoving it in your water cup. It doesn't really matter. And for paintbrushes, paintbrushes are not forever friends, so I don't treat them as such. And if my brush gets damaged, I've never noticed enough to matter. It's just never been enough to matter to me. Okay. Pretty good. Let's try our ink. White artist ink. We're just letting this run in the recesses. Like we were talking earlier, you could do this step first and just dry brush over this. I actually prefer this because I want more punch. But that's a preference. It's a workflow preference. We all have different workflows. I'm doing white first because then I'll go back with the yellow. Is there any questions?
I don't think we've talked about the plan for the pose or any references y'all pulled from for this one.
I mean, we knew this was a tricky miniature to make. Warlock's design is super defined because it's, you know, comic books. It's just black and yellow, right? It's scribblies. So the design is real tricky to interpret. And then when you put that miniature scale, it becomes even more tricky. And there's only two directions to go for details on a three-dimensional object. Raised or inset. And we knew you had these little yellow squiggles all over. So there was a lot of discussion over, should they be raised, should they be inset? And just from a painter perspective, I prefer them to be inset because of exactly this right here. You just let the ink flow in. I don't have to be super precise. You can wipe it away with your finger. And it's going to work really good. If these were all raised, they'd be much trickier to paint. So, and then to have him interacting with stuff, we definitely looked at, Josh had the really good idea of having him like devouring a car. So it's like a car door. As he's sort of devouring it. Absorbing it. We got a whole lot of fun to think about this character. Yeah, he's a walking digital virus, right? Like, and Sakinwitz art to 3D. Yeah, just real abstract stuff, right? It's real abstract stuff. But I think we've figured it out. We got 10 minutes, so I'm probably not going to do all the white. Because I at least want to lay in some of the yellow. And I want that bright white, right? Because I want it real punchy. It's gonna look so slick. Like I said, I'm just using the tip of that brush and just letting that ink flow into the crevasse. Just breathing, slow and steady, no rush. No need to rush. It's not a race. gonna look so good. What's your thoughts, chat? Excited to give him a try.
So I'm seeing you doing a lot of like wiping away when things get over the edge. Are there, let's say you're in like one of these tight spots on the back here and you sort of flood the crevice a little too much. What is your, if you can't get a finger in to like wipe it away, how do you recommend not making a mess of it?
I can just show you, like, oops.
Yeah.
Damp brush.
Damp brush, ladies and gentlemen.
Damp brush. You can push it right into the crevice, and if you need to, you can go back and touch up around it. But I just use that second brush to like clean up. Damp brush and finger. Two of painter's best friends. The finger works really good though for those big like thighs and calves and areas. Okay, we should probably start doing some of the yellow. So let's use transparent yellow. And maybe a touch of transparent orange. Because I want to just richen that yellow just a bit. We're just going to go right back over that white. Right, because it's transparent, it's a little translucent. It's going over white paint. That means you're going to see some of that bright, inky white over top or through it. It's just going to let you read it.
It's definitely like a trust the process with the brightness of the white, because those yellow streakies are so bright now.
Yeah, that white looks really weird at first, but like that's what you want, because you want that to help bring that yellow, or yeah, the white, sorry. You want that white to bring that yellow forward and really put it in your face. You know, and now that this yellow is going over top, I can see where my mistakes are, and I can go back through with some of my brass or copper and tidy it up. which we can do a little bit here in a moment. Because I definitely have areas where I splashed over. That's inevitable. We all make mistakes, and that's okay. I'm not just talking about paint. So use that dark bronze. Just find the right color I want. And right up against it, those lines, I can just tighten those up anywhere I spilled over. Just anywhere it's spilled over, just clean that up. This is going to help it out. Oh, him and Sunspot going to have a space in your X-Men. Agreed. I'm excited to get Sunspot painted as well.
His Blasty Blast is my favorite.
Oh yeah, Sunspots? Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
The way he's like lifted up off the ground. So cool. Not bad, not bad. Not bad for 1 hour.
And here we are at the 1 hour mark. It's already here upon us.
So I got wrapped up painting the eyes because I got excited. I got excited, chat. I'm sorry.
We'll allow it.
I was like, look at his crazy eye. And I was like, oh, you can't really see it yet. Need to find it. I'm getting pretty happy with that. I think once the yellow dries, I want to go a little more orange to add a little darkness to it here and there, just to give it a little more reach and pop. But overall, I think for an hour, I think we got our philosophies down. Pretty good, right? Little bronze, little blue shadows to like darken it all up. Little highlights, white ink, yellow ink, little touch of orange. Pretty much done. We'll finish him up and I'll post it, and then if anybody has any questions, they can ask about it. How's that sound?
Perfection.
Awesome. All right. Remember, every Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on Twitch. You can check us out. It's called Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. Tomorrow, I'll be back. We're going to be painting something fuzzy. And the Wednesday after, it's going to be something fuzzier. Teasers. So remember, for all the latest news, information, and announcements about Atomic Mass Games and all of its wonderful games we make, you should check us out on Twitter and or Instagram. That's where we post the news. So until tomorrow, see you later. Have a good one, and 0110011010.
001?
001.
Well, that about
110.
says it all. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.